AITA for cutting off my family after they took my $14,000 and left me alone on Christmas morning? I woke up on the morning of December 25th, and the first thing I felt was a strange silence. The kind of silence that is not peaceful, it is just empty. I opened my eyes and it took a second to process. The house was still. I did not hear anyone, not the TV, not footsteps, not the sound of the blender my mom would turn on even if it was a holiday. I got up, still half asleep, with the foolish thought that maybe they had gone out early to buy something for brunch. I walked down the hallway and saw the bedroom doors were open. My twin sisters, Ashley and Brittany's, was spotless with the beds made. That was not normal. They never made their beds, not even if company was coming over. I went downstairs and called out, "Mom, Dad, where are you?" No one answered. Then I saw it. A folded piece of paper on the living room table, right next to the small Christmas tree and the gifts I had carefully arranged the night before. I picked it up with trembling hands. I do not know if it was from the cold or from a bad feeling. The note started with one word. Surprise. I froze. It read, "We decided to go to the Bahamas for Christmas. After all, we bought the flights and booked the hotel a month ago, right after the first time we told you about the trip. We paid the deposits with our money so you would not suspect anything, but this morning we took $14,000 from your emergency account to cover the rest. We know you did not want to come because you were against it, so we thought it was better for you to stay. Please take care of the house and finish last night's leftovers. Do not worry about us. We are going to be happy on the beach. With love, your family who loves you." I read the note 3 times. The 4th time was not reading anymore. It was like a punch to the gut. Everything from last night, the smiles, the good vibes, the nice dinner, had been an act. They were just making sure I went to sleep peacefully while they left with my money. And the final line, "Take care of the house and finish the leftovers," as if I were the house sitter while the owners went on vacation. I sank into the armchair because my legs gave out. I felt my chest tighten, a burning in my throat, and an anger that made my hands shake. My first reaction was to call them and scream, to let them have it, to make them feel what I was feeling. But I just stood there with the phone in my hand and stopped myself. What for? I thought, so that on top of taking my money, they get the satisfaction of seeing me fall apart. I took a deep breath. And there, in that empty living room, I decided I was not going to cry for them. I was going to take action. My name is Chloe and I am 25 years old. And now looking back, I am embarrassed to admit how easily I fell for it all. 3 years ago, when I graduated from college, I could have easily started my own life. I graduated with a degree in systems engineering and landed a great job as a data architect at a large insurance company in downtown Chicago. One of those jobs that can change the course of life for a recent graduate. I was doing well, very well. I could have rented an apartment, a nice one, even if it was small. I could have started saving, traveled with my friends, done normal things, but my parents had other plans. One night, they sat me down in the kitchen. Our kitchen in our Naperville home always felt small for 5 people. The table was pushed against the wall, the chairs crammed together, and that one light bulb made everything look a little tired. My mom, Karen, put on the worried face she used when she wanted to talk about money. "Chloe, honey, we really need your help," she said, clasping her hands. My dad, Mark, nodded. He had that look of someone who has been exhausted for months. "My salary just does not go as far as it used to. The mortgage is killing us." My mom took a shaky breath as if she were about to cry. "If you stay here for a while and help us with the house, you would be saving us. We are family, right? We support each other." They asked me for $1,000 a month for the mortgage. At that moment, it sounded reasonable. I was living there. I did not pay rent, did not pay utilities, did not buy groceries, and my mom finished with the part that, without me realizing it, tied me down. "Besides, we cook for you. You come home and have a hot meal waiting. You do not have to worry about cleaning or the gas bill or anything. And you would also be helping your little sisters." Ashley and Brittany were 14 then, still in middle school, just starting that intense phase where everything is drama, laughter, slam doors, and phone selfies. They were noisy, messy, always whispering about something, but they were my sisters and I loved them, so I said yes. I started transferring them the money every month, $1,000 right on time. And separately for groceries, I would contribute another $300 or up to $450 depending on what was needed. "So they do not go without anything," my mom would say. First it seemed normal. I would come home from work tired and the house would smell good. My mom would set the table and call everyone. There was roasted chicken, spaghetti, beef stew. I liked not having to think about what to eat after a long day. I liked the feeling of coming home and having everything taken care of. At family gatherings, my parents would talk about me as if I were the pride of the neighborhood. Chloe is doing so well at her job, my mom would say with a smile. And she helps us so much with the house. She is very responsible. I felt good, I felt like a good daughter. And yes, I also got a bit of satisfaction when my friends from college complained about rent, the grocery store, about how expensive everything was. I thought, I made a good decision. I started buying better gifts for my mom's birthday. I bought her a nice necklace, one of those that is not costume jewelry, which cost me about $350. For my dad, I bought tools for his workshop. For the twins, whatever was trendy. Sneakers, headphones, gift cards. They gave me things too, but if I am being honest, the pattern was already visible even then. My gifts were thought out, expensive, intentional. Theirs were like a candle set that smelled weird. A sweater on clearance that was not even my size. A gift card to a place I had never said I wanted to go to. At the time I did not see it. It was enough for me to feel that I was contributing. But by the end of the first year, it had become common for me to be the one to fix things if something in the house broke. 6 months after I started paying, the washing machine started making a sound like it was about to fall apart. It was not cleaning well, left clothes smelling damp, and since I also used it, I thought, well, I will buy a new one. Cost me around $950. They installed it and everyone was happy. Oh, finally one that works, my mom said, as if it had been my obligation. Then it was the microwave that barely heated anything anymore. Then the coffee maker, which made coffee that tasted horrible like burnt water. And so it went. Without realizing it, I ended up replacing almost all the appliances in the house. By the second year, I had also started on the furniture. Then came the living room set. The armchair was sunken, broken, and every time you sat down you could feel the springs. I bought a large, comfortable sectional that cost me about $1,400. Then I redid my room, bed, dresser, desk. I sold it to myself as an investment, as comfort. My family loved it. But little by little, the gratitude faded. At first it was, thanks, honey. Then it was, oh, that is nice. And later it was just a quick nod, as if I were just fulfilling my duty. I justified it. We are family, they do not have to be thanking me all the time. I am doing it because I want to. Until they stopped asking and started demanding. The twins, now older, started talking to me as if I were their personal ATM. We need money for something. If I asked what for or said, wait a little, they would look at me as if I were the bad guy. You are so stingy, Ashley would snap at me. Yeah, really cheap, Brittany would add. And then they would go to my parents as if I had humiliated them. And my parents, instead of setting a boundary with them, would tell me with a feigned calmness, Chloe, do not be like that. They are your sisters, you can help them. In the third year, when they were already in high school, the demands became daily. I kept putting money into the house. I bought new furniture for the twins, comfortable beds, desks for each of them, almost $2,200 in total. And when the truck arrived with everything, Brittany did not even say thank you, she just made a face and said, it is just that the old stuff was embarrassing. I was ashamed to have friends over. My jaw dropped. Embarrassing. It was normal furniture, old, but it worked. Then I fixed up my parents' room. I bought them a king-size bed, nightstands, a dresser. My mom saw it and the first thing she said was, you could have bought a better mattress. This one is just okay. That hurt a lot, but I swallowed my anger because I was already used to doing that, feeling something and keeping it to myself. The worst day was a Thursday in October, during my sister's senior year of high school. I came home from work with a splitting headache. We were in the middle of a huge system update and everything was going wrong. I just wanted to have dinner and unplug, but as soon as I walked into the dining room, I saw Ashley and Brittany complaining about me to my parents as if I were a problem that needed to be discussed. She just told us no, Ashley whined with that dramatic voice she had perfected. We only asked her for money for a weekend shopping trip. We wanted $500 for winter clothes. I sat down slowly. My temples were throbbing from the stress. I did not say no forever. I said I wanted to see what you were going to buy. $500 disappears in a second if you are not careful. Ashley threw her hands up. See? She does not trust us. She thinks we are going to waste her precious money. That is when I snapped. I did not yell, but the truth came out with a sharpness I had not used in years. You want money for clothes? Get a job. The table fell silent. Ashley looked at me as if I had said something atrocious. Brittany's mouth hung open, speechless. My mom was the first to react. Excuse me, what did you say? Her voice was no longer sweet. It was cold. Let them get a job if they want money. I have been working since I was 15 and I still gave you part of my earnings. And I still bought my own things. My dad put his fork down and looked at me seriously. Chloe, do not compare, it is different. You chose to work. They are teenagers, my mom said. They do not have to carry that responsibility. They need to focus on school, on being kids. Kids, I said, unable to believe it. They are 17. That does not matter, she cut me off. We are not going to push them into adult worries before their time. The dinner turned to ice. No one spoke to me, no one looked at me. I ate quickly and went up to my room with a horrible feeling, like I was living with people who only tolerated me. After that, the atmosphere was frozen. For 3 weeks they ignored me. They would literally talk in front of me as if I did not exist. They made plans, laughed among themselves, and if I entered the living room, they would fall silent or change the subject. I tried to be strong. I told myself, let them be mad, it is their problem. I went to work, came back, ate dinner in silence and locked myself in my room, but inside something was already breaking. In late November I came home one day and saw them huddled around the dining table, excited with papers and cell phones out. They did not even notice I had walked in. I got closer and my mom looked up with a huge smile, one I had not seen in weeks. Chloe, you are just in time, she said and stood up quickly. She handed me a full-color brochure, filled with photos of beaches, pools, a hotel that looked very expensive. Look at this, you have to buy the flights and book the hotel now, otherwise it will get more expensive later. I read Bahamas Christmas, all-inclusive resort in high season. I looked at her with a hard expression. What trip are you talking about? This is the first I am hearing of this. Seriously. My mom waved her hand as if I were slow. No, how could that be? We have been planning it for weeks. We already calculated everything, it just needs to be paid. My dad was looking over some papers as if it were a budget. He looked up and with total calm said, it comes out to about $14,000 for the 5 of us. That covers flights, the hotel for a week, and spending money there. I was breathless. The 4 of them were looking at me as if I were going to say, sure, I will do it right now. As if it were the most normal thing in the world. I put the brochure down on the table. You are mistaken. I am not giving you $14,000 to go on vacation. My mom's smile vanished. Chloe, do not be dramatic. Of course you have that kind of money. You opened an emergency account a year ago. The account you said was for the family. There is like $20,000 in there. My stomach dropped. Yes, that account existed. I had opened it because more than once they had called me with emergencies when I was in meetings or commuting or without service. And out of trust, I had gotten an additional debit card that was stored in a kitchen drawer, just for emergencies. I had even left them the PIN written inside a notebook, like someone who believes nothing bad will happen in their own home. That is not for vacations, I said, trying to keep my voice from shaking. It is for emergencies. Remember when a pipe burst and we had to pay $3,300 to get it fixed fast? That is what it is for. My dad slammed his hand on the table, making the brochure jump. We all need a break, Chloe. We have worked a lot. The girls have studied hard. We deserve something nice and you can save it back up again. I looked at them one by one. My mom with her arms crossed, annoyed, my dad irritated, Ashley and Brittany with faces that said, you are failing us. I am not paying for that trip, I repeated slowly so there would be no doubt. Find another option or go somewhere cheaper. I turned around and went up to my room. I did not even have dinner. I did not want to see their faces. The silence continued until Christmas Eve. And I, despite everything, had already bought their gifts, good ones, expensive ones, because a part of me kept trying to hold on to the illusion of family. That December 24th, I stopped by a nice bakery and bought a cream and red berry cake that cost me $50. I thought that if I did my part, maybe we could have a calm Christmas Eve, forget about the trip issue. When I got home, I was surprised they were being nice. My mom smiled. "Chloe, you are here. Good. Sit down. We will serve dinner right away." The twins greeted me as if they had not been ignoring me for weeks. My dad asked me about work. I felt a sense of relief. I felt foolish but also hopeful. We ate a delicious dinner. My mom made a roast and apple salad pasta. There was normal conversation. Ashley talked about a chemistry exam. Brittany said they had a festival at school. My dad told a funny story about his job. That night I went to sleep thinking, maybe they understood. And then the note happened. What I felt that morning was not just anger, it was clarity. For the first time I saw the complete truth. I was not their daughter or their sister. For them I was the family bank. I got up from the armchair, grabbed my phone and called Jessica, a colleague from work. She answered, sounding a little surprised. "Chloe, sorry to call you today," I said. "Do you remember you told me your aunt was renting a house? Is it still available?" "I think so." "Why?" "Because I am moving out of my parents' house now. As soon as possible." There was a pause. "Are you okay?" "I am angry," I said honestly. "But I am okay. Can you give me her number?" She sent it to me. I called immediately. Mrs. Davis, Jessica's aunt, answered with a kind voice. You could tell she was surprised someone was calling her that day. But she also sounded happy there was interest. "The house is small, but it is well kept," she told me. "It is not furnished." "Perfect," I replied. "I have my own things." We agreed to meet that same afternoon. I grabbed my car keys and left. Since it was December 25th, the streets were almost empty. Without the usual traffic from the suburbs, I made good time. The house she showed me was in a quiet neighborhood in Oak Park, relatively close to my office in the city. On a normal day, the commute from Naperville could be an eternity, but that day I got there in about 25 minutes. It was a simple little house, clean, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a living room with good space and enough room to start over without any noise around me. Mrs. Davis looked at me with a "this is strange" expression, but did not ask too many questions. Just told me she was also home that day, and that is why she could show it to me so quickly. "When would you like to move in?" she asked me. "Now," I answered. "Tomorrow." Her eyes widened. "Well, if you can pay the deposit and first month's rent today, I do not see a problem." The rent was $2,000 a month and the deposit was 1 month's rent. I made the transfer right there from my banking app and showed her the receipt. We signed a simple lease agreement. She gave me the keys and said, "Welcome." On the way back, I felt something I had not felt in a long time: relief. Not because everything was solved, but because I finally had control. On the morning of December 26th, I called a moving company. I told them I needed it to be that same day, and that I could pay extra for the urgency. They confirmed it with a higher price precisely because of the holidays, and I accepted without arguing. Money was no longer going to be the problem. What was hard was accepting how long I had let myself be used. When the movers arrived, I walked with them through the house with a notebook and pointed out everything that was mine. And it was not mine out of spite, it was mine because I paid for it. The washing machine, the microwave, the coffee maker, the living room sectional, that table, those chairs. I had kept all the invoices and receipts in a binder out of habit, for organization, for precaution, without knowing that one day they would save me. We went up to the twins' room. I pointed to the beds, the dressers, the desks, all of that too. In my parents' room, the same. The king-size bed, the nightstands, the dresser. And the best part, what I enjoyed the most for what it symbolized, was the 65-inch screen I had bought 2 months earlier. A TV my dad bragged about as if he had bought it and had used to watch his games and his subscriptions. That one goes too. My own room was emptied completely, of course. Bed, desk, bookshelf, rug. When they finished, the house looked sad. Not completely empty because the old things they had before were still there. But it did look as if 3 years of improvements had suddenly vanished. I drove to my new house and told them where to arrange everything. The living room looked perfect. The TV fit right where it should. My room felt like mine for the first time in years. That night I ordered Chinese food from a place nearby. I sat in my living room, put on a movie, and realized something that made me laugh, but a bitter laugh. My family had been away for days and had not written to me once. Not a Merry Christmas, not an Is everything okay, nothing. I only existed when I was making transfers. During that week, out of curiosity, I checked my mom's social media. She had posted photos at the beach, in restaurants next to the hotel pool, everyone with happy faces. And in one of the photos, she wrote something about the most important people. I saved a screenshot, not for petty revenge, I saved it because I already knew what was going to happen. That they would come back and tell a different version, that they would want to play the victims with the family, and that someone would call me to demand things from me. On January 1st, I knew they were landing that day. I spent it in my house arranging, organizing, setting up my small workspace in the second bedroom, and enjoying the silence. This time the good kind. Around noon the phone started ringing. First my mom, I let it go to voicemail. Then my dad, same thing. Then Ashley, then Brittany. I ignored it all and continued with my day. Later the text started. Chloe, where are you? We are here and the house is empty. Call me right now. What happened to our things? Where is my bed? My mom is freaking out. My mom sent a long message saying she was going to report me for theft, that this was insane, how could I dare? A laugh escaped me. Go ahead, I thought. Let us see what the police say when I show up with all the invoices. By the afternoon the tone changed. Chloe, honey, I think there has been a misunderstanding. We have to talk, please. That is when I answered. Not out of fear but for closure. I called her. She answered on the first ring. Chloe, thank God. Where are you? What happened? We got home and there is nothing. We are on air mattresses. I moved out, I said calmly. And I took my things. Your things. Her voice rose. Chloe, those are family things. You cannot just take everything. Yes, I can, I said. Because I paid for all of it. I have the receipts. She was quiet for a second. When she spoke again, she was not the demanding mom anymore. She was a small, scared voice. Come back, please. We will fix it. We are sorry about the trip, we did not handle it well. You took $14,000 from me, I said without raising my voice. And you left me alone on Christmas with a note telling me to eat leftovers and watch the house. We are going to pay you back, she said quickly. It is just going to take us some time. I do not want your money anymore, I replied. Or your time. Not anymore. What do you mean not anymore? That I am not coming back. I am not going to pay your mortgage. I am not going to be buying things. I am not going to give my sisters money for clothes. It is over. I heard my mom crying on the other end. Chloe, please, we cannot handle the mortgage without your help. And your sisters are about to graduate high school. We do not know how we are going to pay for college. That sentence tightened my stomach because it was the same hook as always. Guilt, fear, the idea that if I did not carry everything, then I was the bad one. I did not argue, I did not explain, it did not make sense anymore. I hung up. That same night they tried something else. My aunt called me, acting as a mediator. Then a cousin. Messages of talk to your parents. Do not be so hard-hearted, it is the holidays. Exactly what I had imagined when I saved the screenshot. I did not answer. They called me several more times that week, I did not respond. With time they got tired. It has been 6 months since then. I still live in that rented house and I love it. It is not big, it is not out of a magazine, but it is quiet. No one demands anything from me. No one ignores me to punish me. No one smiles at me only when they want something. I am saving more than ever. With my rent paid and without supporting 4 other people, I can put away between $2,000 and $2,200 a month for my own future. I changed my passwords, closed that emergency account, and recovered what was left. What they did not take went straight into my personal savings, and the additional debit card, the one I left just for emergencies, I canceled that same day. From what my relatives have told me, my parents are now working overtime to be able to pay the mortgage and support Ashley and Brittany. And they are worried about college as if that worry had appeared out of nowhere, as if they had not had years to plan for it while I paid for everything. Let them figure it out like normal parents do, with their own money, with real decisions, with limits. They thought I was going to stay forever out of guilt, out of habit, out of fear of being the bad one. They thought I was always going to bow my head, but they were wrong. And now, finally, they are learning what it is like to live without my money. Friends, thank you for joining me in this story and for listening with an open heart. I grew up believing that loving meant enduring, giving in, fixing things, and staying quiet to keep the peace. And that took me time to unlearn. A healthy family does not ask you to break yourself so others can be comfortable. What I understood is that helping does not mean turning yourself into someone's bank, nor living in fear of being called ungrateful every time you set a boundary. I learned that affection is also protected with clear rules, with written agreements if necessary, with separate accounts, with a yes, I will support you but only up to this point, because when love is real it shows in reciprocity, in respect. In the way they speak to you when you do not give them what they want. Comment. I hope this story resonated with you as much as it did with me. It is easy to mistake love for unlimited giving, but true affection should never leave you feeling empty or used. Setting boundaries is not selfish. It is about protecting your peace and your future. Even with family, respect must be mutual, and it is okay to step back when that balance is lost. You have the right to say no without feeling guilty, especially when your kindness is being taken for granted. Please remember that your mental health and financial stability matter just as much as anyone else's needs. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away from a situation that no longer serves you. Healing often begins the moment you decide to prioritize your well-being over the expectations of others. I wish you the strength to build a life filled with genuine respect and tranquility. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.